Okay, all viewers, welcome to the 89th Khelo Chess India team battle. Today I am very late because I was preparing a video and I have uploaded a beautiful video on the Khelo Chess India's YouTube channel on chess databases. You can go and check today. And I can see a hi from Mayank. Mayank saying hello from the multination team battle organizer. Hello, Mayank. And you are saying you're unable to hear. Okay, I think you should be able to hear now. Just confirm once. Archana Sharma says hi, and we have a couple of requests right now from Yogaraj is the first person who is uh, going to who has requested to analyze his game. So let's pick up his live game, whom which is he is playing with Jitendra. Jitendra is from the Best Chess Lovers, the new team who has joined our Khelo Chess India team battle family, and they have started playing from probably yesterday. And Yogaraj is from Karnataka Stunners. He's the captain of Karnataka Stunners. So let's check his game. Yogaraj is playing from the black side, d4, knight f6, knight f3, and g6 and G3. Archana Sharma says hello. Hello, Archana Sharma. Hope you are doing well, safe and sound at your home. And G3, then we have bishop G7, bishop G2, castles, and pawn D6, pawn B3, knight C6, and bishop to B2. Now I'll just like to wait here for and take couple of moves back here. Bishop is put back on C1, knight is put back on the C6. Yeah, we do have this common position where we play the moves like knight C6 and then we try to play the pawn to E5. Okay, the other option here is you can still try to play the Sicilian setup if you want. It's not the best one because it might offer an exchange of queens to white, but still you can go for the c5 move. And other the plan over here is to play b6, c6, b5, a5, and attack on the queen side as much as possible. This is another plan that you can use here. I'm just sharing the ideas which are possible right now on the board because looking at the b3 move, I don't think white is playing here in the best of its form. This bishops will be both fianchettoed on the opposite sides of the board until white has something in the center. It would be difficult for white to crack this game. So let's see what happened. NC6 was played, then bishop b2, then knight to knight to d7. Probably e5 is going to be played, but this I think is not going to be much effective. Probably if you are planning for f5, then it might be helpful for you. Pawn to c4, yeah, pawn to c4 is a correct move. Just making sure that white is having a very good control in the center. Also, this now it can now hop on to this c3 square. Of course, d4 pawn has to be first supported, and then it can be played. Knight can be played to c3. Okay, so Mayank says, "Sir, promote third multination uh, international cup." Yes, Mayank, I'll do that at the end of the tournament, end of the broadcast. So we have. Pawn to d5 here, knight to e7, and now f5 is going to be a strong move. But before f5, always make sure if you're playing from black side in this position, you play h6 first, because if after f5 ng5 is allowed, then any 6 creates some problems for black. And if you are just playing any 6, if you're trying to capture with the bishop and then pawn captures, then this bishop becomes very powerful in this diagonal, and also you lose your light square bishop by capturing the knight on e6 sometime in the future. So don't go for that variation. If you want to play f5 here, play h6 first. I can see hello from Saksham Singh. Hello Saksham, hope you are doing well, safe and sound at your home and enjoying chess. And also make sure you go and check our latest video, Saksham. It's on chess databases, and also share with your friends. So f5 is going to be the nice plan here. Let's see what happened. E4 was played. Of course, e4 is played to stop this f5 pawn, and this is called as a prophylactic move. Prophylactic move is the move which you make to stop your opponent's plan. So right here, white is trying to play e4 and trying to stop black's plan of playing f5. This is the prophylactic move. Okay, so these are important terms that you have to learn uh, in the chess terminology. In the chess middle games, when you study, you should know this prophylaxis and the rook lift and the IMR and the maneuvering, and there are a lot of regrouping. There are a lot of concepts that you need to understand from the middle game point of view. So pawn e4, pawn b6, and I can see a comment from Saksham. My skid is downloaded, and thank you so much for the video. Yes, Saksham, you are welcome. I hope you have lot of questions on skid, and you ask me. I'm waiting for the questions on skid. I want to answer all of your questions on the skid. So make sure you comment in the comment section on the video. I will definitely reply to you, or at least I will take your questions and provide a video in the second part of the skid. So pawn to f5, finally the f5 is there, and now pawn takes e4. f takes e4, rook takes f1, king takes f1, and queen to f8 check. So uh, just going back again few moves, the problem which I had informed before, that if your knight should have been there on f3 actually, and he should have waited for the f5 move. After f5, I think knight g5 could have been the better move. We still need to understand that position, but I think if knight should wait on this f3 square. Meanwhile, you can just play knight d2 or knight c3, support this e4 pawn, and get some control of the e4 square. So even if f takes is played, your knight can hop onto the e4 square and have good control of this f3, g5, and d6, c5 squares. So knight e1 is not the best move. I'm not much happy with that, but let's see what happened in the game. f3, f takes e4, f takes e4, and rook takes f1, king takes f1, queen to f8, and black resigned, white won over here. So let's check. It's a long game, guys. Oh, huge game, 70, 80 moves. Okay, we are very, very, very far away from the conclusion of the game. No problem. We'll just quickly check it. So we were at this position, and then queen f8 check, queen f3, queen takes f3, knight takes f3, and bishop to a6. So this is again a problem, guys. So whenever you want to play such moves, now you can see that your center is cramped out over here, and pawn to a5 should be played actually. Pawn to a5, pawn to a4 probably, and then try to create some play in the a file also. Then your bishop can come into play. Try to play b5 here. Try to attack this c4 pawn by playing b5 and c4. So let's see what happened in the game. Bishop a6 was directly played. I would have preferred playing a5 first and then putting the bishop on this b6 square. So knight to g5. Now, as I said before, knight g5 and knight e6 are very nice moves to put the knight on e6 and attack as much as possible. So rook to f8 check, king to g1, and we have knight to c5 now. Now from knight c5, it is threatening to go to this d3 square, as well as it is supporting this e6 square, so that this knight cannot come to e6 readily. This knight can just take the knight away, and then this e6 pawn can be attacked by playing rook f6 and rook takes e6. So now we have knight to c3, pawn to h6, knight to h3, knight to d3, and this b2 bishop is attacked, and we have bishop e3, knight to c5 back, bishop takes c5, b takes c5, and now I think this bishop can come back and attack in this diagonal. Meanwhile, white can put his knight on b5, trying to attack these two weak pawns in black's pawn brigade. So rook to f1, we have pawn to c6, a break from black side. This is not a bad break. It's a good one to play because pawn takes yeah, pawn takes can be played, or pawn takes c takes can be played. Meanwhile, this bishop is attacking, but rook takes f1 will be played first, and then this exchange I think should be okay for both the players. It's not causing any problem right now. But after c takes and c takes, black has this move c4 in the game, which he can try to attack this pawn, which will force white to push the pawn. And after pushing the pawn, probably rook can go to this b8 square, try to attack the b4 pawn, and the a3 will be pushed, and the bishop can be taken to this b4, and pawn can be pushed to a5, trying to attack this b4 pawn. So there could be some tactics here on this black's queen side. So we have rook takes f1, king takes f1, knight to a4, pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5, and king to e8. King to e8, I am still not able to find the reason. Probably this is the route which the here cannot king cannot step here and then go here. Probably this is the route which black might have been visualizing, but this is not going to help much. Let's see what happens. So king e8, king f2, king d7, king e3, king c7, knight to f2, and bishop to b5, bishop to b5, and knight to c3, king to b6, knight takes b5, king takes b5, pawn to a3, and pawn to a5, bishop to f1 check, and king to b6. I can see a comment from Mayank that cd5 is not possible. Yes, Mayank, after rook, the cd5 is what I was trying to explain. Rook takes f8, and then c takes d5 can be played, and king to b6, and uh, king to d3. Then we have knight to c8, and we have king to c3, we have knight to a7. So the knight is planning to go on this square now. Now if you look at this position, we have to first identify. I'm just keeping few moves back here. The knight is on the e7, king has been moved to d3. So we have to try and find the weak positions here. So if the knight is, so if, just think, if you can just lift this knight and keep it somewhere I would like to keep him on the f3 square or on the g4 square if this knight is not there on the g5 square. So just think, how can you bring your knight on this f3 square? For that you have this route possible via g5 and g5. For coming to g5, we need to either come to this h7 square or f7 square. So we have this knight g8, knight f6, knight h7, knight g5, and then knight f3. This is a possible route for this knight, but this is not the most effective square. Probably you can think about some other square as well. Probably you can just try to put this knight on b5, but then it will be pushed with the a4. So it's not an easy plan for white black here. So even actually here after king d3, I think black could have pushed this pawn. If pawn to a4, if b takes a4, king a5, and as king takes a4 is the threat, and there is no way that this king can just come in time probably. And yeah, king can come and defend actually the a4 pawn. And here right now, okay, knight c8 was not a bad move. King to c3, knight to a7, knight to d3. We have knight to b5 check. King moves to b2, and then we have knight to d4. Yeah, so white has actually allowed this knight to come and sit on this d4 square, from where it can control the critical squares of this b3 and the f3 square. So knight to c1, knight to f3, pawn to h3, knight to c5, attacking this e4 pawn. Now this is supported, so nothing to worry about. This e4 pawn has to be, yeah, e4, and both the pawns are now saved. And look at this bishop, guys. This bishop has to be there in the game by playing bishop h5, bishop h6, and bishop has to come on this dark square somewhere. So Mayank says, how did you make the red circle? So Mayank, you just have to press the control key on the keyboard, and then you have to click somewhere, so it will give you the red colored circle. Okay, so we have king to b5, and then we have king to c3, pawn to a4. Finally, pawn to a4 comes, pawn to h4, and then we have knight to h7, bishop to f1 check, king to a5, and pawn to b4 check, pawn takes, and I think now this a4 pawn is going to be the weak link in the game, and that is how. Uh, okay, I think knight takes d5 was possible here. Knight takes d5, e takes d5, and we have this beautiful move as e4 check. Okay, if king moves, then we can capture this bishop. If king captures the pawn, then we can just advance our king to this b4 square. Actually, yeah, but that might not be winning for black, even though we get some pawns. No, I don't think that is going to work for black. Sorry, guys, that's not the best move. It's not a beautiful move. Forget about it. This sacrifice is not going to work. I was just excited about this move, but it's not going to help at all. Okay, so we have knight to g4, king to c4, and now knight e3 check, king to c3, knight to c1 check. I think knight is just making some random moves over here, and it's trying to attack the pieces, but it's not going to work right now. So in the time pressure now, and this pawn push, knight takes king to b4, and knight to f3. We have knight to c3, knight to e e1, and we have knight to a5 check. And yeah, this is what I said. This a4 pawn is going to be the most weakest pawn on the board, and that's what has happened, and that probably led to loss of white here, or loss of black here. And this, yeah, the pawn is just going to be pushed now. Black has this g pawn, and he should have pushed this as quickly as possible, but it's not going to work. I'm just fast forwarding in the game because we don't have much time left right now. So bishop takes, knight takes, and knight to g3, bishop to h5, and we have knight to f5, bishop check, king to c4, knight check. Oh, free knight, free knight. I think that is the blunder there, and that is how actually then black might have lost the game. So yeah, a beautiful king and pawn ending, and which is going to come at a beautiful end. So yeah, that's how the white one. Let's go back to tournament guide, guys. Good game from Yogaraj. Yogaraj, there were few, uh, there were few yeah, few tips and tricks for you which I have given. Just replay and check this recording. I'm just trying to find out who was the next player who had Samarth Rao had requested. Let's check Samarth Rao's game. Yeah, Samarth Rao is playing for which team? He's playing for Karnataka Stunners, and he's playing against KKMKR from Chennai Chess Club. So let's check. Samarth Rao is 2100 rated players. That's a very nice rating, Samarth Rao. And d4, knight f6, c4, c5. So Samarth Rao is playing from the black side, and this is called as the modern Benoni, guys. So pawn to d5, we have pawn to b5, and this is the Benko gambit. Benko Gambit is one of the aggressive openings that you can play. C takes b5, pawn to a6, and we have knight to c3. So there are a couple of options for here for white. You can either capture, you can accept the gambit here, and then bishop takes a6 is played, or you can just play pawn to b6. You can decline it, or you can just take no action on this pawn and develop this knight like the white did over here. All three moves are fine. So pawn takes, knight takes, and we have bishop to a6. We have knight going back to c3, and now pawn to e6. And okay, pawn to e6, pawn to g3, pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, and bishop to bishop to b7. Now this knight is attacked by this bishop. I think knight takes f6 is playable, and then knight f3 is forced. So black won the game, but let's check what happened in the game, guys. So yeah, this was played, and bishop to g2 was played. So instead of bishop to g2, I think knight f3, queen takes queen, knight f takes f6, queen takes f6, and knight f3 could have been played. Bishop takes f3, e takes f3. uh yeah, so double pawns on f, and then black would be having slightly a better position because of this extra d pawn, which is the passer actually. So if black holds on to this d pawn, then black might be able to win very quickly. So bishop g2 was not a bad move. Bishop g2 could have been played, and that was played in the game. So bishop g2, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, and queen b6 now. So bishop takes b7, queen takes b7, knight f3, and bishop e7. Castles, and queen to c2. We have knight to c6 now. And still, these two pawns are stuck in the center. So I feel that, okay, from my side, this white is slightly better here because these two pawns might be target for white here. It's not a bad position for black, but yes, white I think has a simple target of attacking these two pawns as much as possible. We have bishop d2, yeah, knight b5 is the fear, but bishop e3 I think could be played here. Bishop e3 is playable, knight b5, knight b4 could be answered by this queen to b3 if possible. Yeah, queen to b3 is possible, and then the threat is to play e3 over here. Okay, and e3 attacks the knight. Knight is pinned over here. So bishop e3 could have been a considerable move. Not the best move, but I think it could have been a considerable move. Then this rook could have joined on the c and d files by playing pawn to e3, making the a2 pawn safe, and then attacking these two pawns as much as possible. So bishop d2 was played, bishop e3. So KKMKR, if you're listening, just try to find out the best move over here. I think it might be bishop e3, but you have to analyze your game and you have to find out which was the best move over here. So bishop d2, we have knight to d4, knight takes d4, pawn takes d4, and bishop to f4 now, rook to c8, queen to b. Okay, so queen to b3, and this I think is not the good move for white here. Okay, so KKMKR, I think here probably queen d2 will be answered by bishop to b4, but no, queen d2 is attacking the d4 pawn. Okay, so queen d2 probably I think is a better move here if I'm not wrong. But queen d2, I think g5 is what will put the question. Yeah, but bishop e5 is there. f6 bishop can capture the d4 pawn, so g5 is not effective. Yeah, queen d2 can be played. This bishop is not able, won't get trapped here over here. You can just get it out of the trouble by playing bishop e5 and bishop takes d4. So queen d2 I think should have been played here. But yes, even then you can just analyze this game KKMKR, and if you are able to find a better move, just mention in the comment section, and we will be it will be helpful for all the viewers out there. So we have queen b3, queen takes b3, pawn takes b3, and rook takes a1, rook takes a1, and pawn to g5. We have bishop to e5, and now bishop to c5, rook to c1, and pawn to d3. I think this is the beautiful threat of this bishop takes f2, king takes f2, and rook takes c1. And we have rook takes c5 here. Why would you give away the exchange? Rook takes c5, pawn takes, and a free bishop. So a blunder leading to a loss from black side, so loss from white side. So there were a couple of moves that KKMKR should have been should have improved, and you can just take this game as an input for your preparation of your opening repertoire and adding to your new middle game ideas. So we have good game from Samarth. So Samarth, your game was absolutely nice. We enjoyed your game. Benko Gambit is one of the favorite openings of most of the players because it is very exciting. It is very happening on the board. And in future, I would like to see more of your games of Benko Gambit. So I'll just let all the viewers know, if you want to learn Benko Gambit, you can follow Samarth. He is one of the good players. He seems to be one of the good players of the uh, Benko Gambit. So thanks, Samarthra, for giving us this beautiful game of Benko Gambit. And then we will go to the next requester, who is from, okay, hey, Khelo Chess India. Prakash is saying, "Pi- Boss Pineapple Runners, I was winning. Yogaraj, Samarthra, I was winning. Me too." Okay, Chess Player 91 has now requested. So Chess Player 91, and let's check Chess Player 91's game. He lost against 1800 player. So let's check his latest game. Okay, so d4 was played by chess player 91, d4, d6, c4, e5. So here actually you have the option of just playing d takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes queen, king takes queen, and then play knight to c3, bishop to f4, and just go for long side castle, giving a check there, gaining a tempo. So from white side, so chess player 91, if you are listening to this commentary, just try to analyze this position, put in a stockfish, or you can use the skill software which I have just created a video for. You can find this position in the database and try to find which is the best move. You can also use the engines here. If you're using leeches, you can just click here and it will show you the best move. It's showing as e3 and e5. D takes e5 is a simplifying option. You can also check that. And e3 was played, which is probably the correct move shown by the engine. So e3 was played, bishop to e7, knight to c3, and we have pawn to c6, knight f3, queen c7, bishop to e2, bishop to g4, and castles. We have knight f6, pawn to h3, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, and castle. So still, it's all good going on, all fine for both the players. And this position actually, yeah, it's not a bad position. Pawn to e4, knight to d7, bishop to g5, knight to b6, and here actually the c4 pawn is hanging. So that's what actually happens. So knight to b5, queen to d7, and bishop to g4. Even here I think knight takes g4 was playable, probably. Knight takes g4, if queen takes g4, queen takes g4, h takes g4, and then we have bishop takes e5, bishop takes g5. Okay, so knight takes g4. We first have bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, and queen takes g4 can be followed by knight takes c4. So c4 pawn could have been captured here by uh, Akshtak, Akshatak. Sorry guys, I'm not able to pronounce your name. So queen d8, and we have queen d8 is not the best move here because you are just putting your queen back on such a square where it is not useful at all. So queen to f3 now, knight takes g4, queen takes g4, and a free piece from white. This is what you shouldn't do. Actually, you should always be careful while playing moves like this because this discord attack is always dangerous. So chess player 91, make sure that you don't play such moves. First of all, don't keep your pieces hanging. If you keep your pieces hanging, you are going to suffer like this bishop here. Okay, and it has suffered very, very, very badly. It has just gone for free. Just check this. Okay, so queen d8, queen to f3, knight takes g4, a simple move. Even here, actually, bishop takes e7 could have been played. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, and then queen takes g4 can be played. So don't miss out on these moves, guys. Don't play piece down. So I'm going back to the game, guys. I'm going back to the tournament, and just play 91. Just a few tips for you. Just check this recording again, and you might be. It might help you in improving your openings. Let me quickly have a sip of water, guys. Yeah, let me just check who is the next. Who is the next player who is trying to? Samarthra, we have done your analysis. Samarthra, yes. Then we have just player 91. We have analyzed your game, and okay, so that's it, and we can actually play a game now. We still have 9 minutes remaining on the clock, so let's try to play a game now. I'll just try to play in the Bosak mode as fast as I can and try to do the commentary at the same time. Should I play in the non-Bosak mode? I'm not able to decide. Let's check on the opponent. If opponent is lower rated, I'll try to play in the Bosak mode. And meanwhile, I will just bring out to you the new video that I have created on chess databases. Okay, okay, I got a game. So knight flare, let's try to play in the Berserk mode, guys. E4, D5. I'm just trying to play the Scandinavian defense here. E takes D5, knight F6, knight to C3, and I can play knight to D5. Knight takes d5, queen takes d5, and my queen is not in the bad position. And g6, bishop g7. There is also e5 and c5 moves that you can play here. Bishop g4, bishop b2, attacking this rook on a1, and rook moves to b1. Let's castle now quickly. I think bishop c4 is going to be played. Yeah, bishop c4 is played, and let's put our queen on h5, trying to pin this knight. Not exactly pin, but just trying to attack it few times. And I think now bishop will go back to e2. Then the knight can come to d7. Oh, he is just giving away his knight and double creating a double pawns. So that's good for us, guys. We got a couple of pawns here, and we are in a good position. So just make sure that nothing is hanging. This pawn is hanging on e7, but I think knight c6 should cover it. I just brought my bishop back, and I think knight c6 should be the next move. He's attacking this pawn on e7. And now let's just challenge the rooks as we are pawn up. So whenever you're pawn up or piece up, just try to go for the end game. In the end game, you're going to get heavy advantage because of your extra pawns, and you can just queen your pawns and defeat your opponent as quickly as possible. Now there is a free bishop, so I would just thank my opponent. Knight Flare, if you are listening to this commentary, please make sure that you don't give your pieces free like you gave right now, and instead of that you just try to prepare as much as possible and then attack, or then try to go for some tactics. So this is what is happening, and now I will trap the rook, at least try to trap the rook, because this rook cannot capture. Rook has to go here, and then yeah, the rook is gone now. Okay, so this is how you can set a trap, and you can try to capture the rook for free, or at least give an exchange, and this seems to be winning for me. So this trap is something that you can learn from this game, guys. Allow this rook to come on the 7th rank, and then try to trap him with the use of your knight or your bishop, and just make sure that that rook cannot escape your trap. And now I'll just put the rook on c4, and I'll just push the pawns quickly. So I'll get my queen in next 5 moves, and then with the queen and rook, the checkmate will be in around 6 to 7 moves. Okay, so I think it's just one more mate now. If the pawn is captured, yeah, pawn is captured. I captured back with the queen. So let's go back to tournament, try to play another game here. There is no next request, so guys, I'm playing another game. If you have any request, I'll just take it up. And okay, no, you can't understand. Okay, so support is needed. Okay, so meanwhile, let's check if there are any questions, queries on the live stream. So no new questions on the live stream. Okay, guys, if you're listening, just make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends as much as possible. Meanwhile, I got another game. This time, I won't play in the Berserk mode. Let's try to play the main lines. D4. Let's try to play E5. This is the England Gambit, and I'll just capture the pawn here if that's given for free. Knight to D4, knight to F6. And if you guys are not liking the video, just let me know where I'm going wrong. Then I can just try to correct myself. It will help me. Just leaving a dislike is not going to help me, guys. If you don't like the video, just let me know what is not good in the video. I will try to improve next time. And there is a comment from Sahil But Hello Sahil, how are you? Good to see you back on the live stream. Hope you are doing well. I'm good, thanks. And Sahil, I have released a new video today, uploaded a new video today on the chess databases. Please make sure that you check the video, and also make sure that you share with your friends. It will be helpful for me uh, to to get more viewers with your help. So thanks for that. Okay, so Sahil is asking, do you regularly follow the streams of Chessbase India? Yes, Sahil, most of the streams I do follow. Sometimes I get some time for commenting, so you might have seen my comments. And I also like Sagar's commentary sometimes, and I also have seen a lot of other commentaries as well, which I was actually getting a checkmated here. So just discussing with you and thinking at the same time. Yeah, I was there on that stream. Yes, Chessbase India. Chessbase India is the first channel which I started following long back, and it was a nice experience for me. It was a nice motivation for me to start my channel by looking at the Chessbase India. So yes, I I do follow Chessbase India's streams. Okay, so meanwhile, this game is poised into an equal battle. Still, this knight is not doing much right now, and I have this option of playing bishop f5 now. Yes, bishop f5, which will allow me to exchange this dangerous bishop on b1, and then probably white won't be having more attacking pieces. Okay, so this bishop will be left, which is attacking nothing over here, and queen exchange has been offered. Should I go for queen exchange? Yes, I should go for queen exchange first because this a takes, and then I can play this rook to b8 and b6 and try to attack this b3 pawn. So yeah, this pawn is attacked. Knight d2 will be played now. After knight d2, what can I play? I can play pawn to d4, try to get this open file on the open d file and try to attack this knight then. Let's check what is white going to play. Knight d2. Yeah, knight d2 is played. Let's try to go for the opening of the central files. Knight c4 is there, but yeah, I can capture the pawn on b3 then if knight c4 is played. Yeah, so pawn c4 was played just to make sure that. And now I think, yeah, still this bishop e5 is annoying for me. And I think I can play d3 now. Bishop e5, bishop e5. Okay, so still good. Let's try to play this move. I don't want this knight to get pinned here because of this bishop coming to e5 and pinning my knight. So let's try to get this knight into the game. So this knight can now go to this. Oh, I missed it. There is a bishop c7 move which is forking both of my rooks. Oh, a narrow escape for me. I think so. Yes, it's a narrow escape for me, guys. This bishop c7 was killing me actually. I could have lost easily. Okay. So Sahil Bhatt is saying our team Karnataka is yes, Sahil, your team is very strong today, and I'm happy to have strong teams like you. And I'm right now attacking the knight as well as this pawn. Let's try to capture this pawn now. Okay, I do have option of uh, giving a check first. What should I play here? I think I should not capture the knight. Let me just put some pressure again back on the opponent. So tournament is almost about to get over, and let's capture the rook now. And now we give this check, or let's try this check. King d3 will be played, and then we can play this bishop c5. Yeah, bishop c5 attacking this f2 pawn. Knight to d5 will be answered by bishop takes, king takes, and rook e2. Yeah, so the rook comes to the saving now, and let's now give the check and try to capture the f2 pawn. Oh, the king is going to, knight is going to capture this rook now. So let's try. Oh, rook is hanging here. Let's give a check again and try to bring this king in the game now. I think this rook e4 could have been better attacking this c4 pawn to b6, saving the bishop. Now the e7 is hanging, so rook d7 is expected. Pawn to a5. Yeah, pawn to a5. Just you have to guess opponent's next move so that you can save a lot of time there on your board, on your clock. Okay, so rook goes back now, and I can play rook to e4, attacking this c4 pawn. Pawn push, and now I think I can play pawn to a4, trying to break this pawn chain. I think if this pawn takes the split, I can just capture with the rook, and then rook e2 is expected. Rook e2 is expected now. So let's try to play g5 now. Just try to harass this knight a bit if possible. So the knight moves. Can we check? Let's give a check. King to e2. And then we have this king move possible. Let's try to attack the hanging pawns. Okay, g2 is hanging now, so king f3 is expected. Now we can attack this. No, that won't be of any use. Let's try to play pawn to h4. Oh, there is a fork. There is a fork. Yeah, the a pawn will be very strong now. Yep, a5. A5, I'll just play rook e1 and just try to do a checkmate here on this g5 pawn. Uh, okay, so that's giving me a check. So okay, difficult choice here. Okay, let's give a check first. King e2 will be played. Oh, king e3, then I can probably save the pawn. If rook e2, then rook a1. King moves, then I think I can play this move. And then this move, trying to attack here. Yeah, and probably that will save the pawn and then white will win in this game. So, not the best strategy from my side. Everything is falling now from for me. Yep, there is no way I can save the game. Let's try to play b3 now. So rook takes pawn. I have to play king g6. Now rook b4. Okay, let's play f5. And king can come here near the pawn. That was probably the mistake here from my side. I think f has to be played here. So under time pressure, I have to try for something new now. I just can't keep waiting. I think that might help me to get a draw at least. So this exchange was compulsory here on this king side to get this passer going. I was not able to find it out very quickly, but finally I got that passer. So I think now I think I might be able to hold him for a draw. If rook moves, then I'll play this king c7, threatening a mate on this h1 square, h8 square. Yeah, it should be a draw. Okay, so let's go back to tournament and this are the final results of 89 Khelo Chess India team battle. Karnataka's tunnels have won today with 194 points. Prayagraj Future GMs on 139, BCC on 115, The Best Chess Lovers on 110, Chennai Chess Club on 109, Pawns Hurricane, a new team, on 88, Hello Chess India on 81, and Banga Asetina is the new player that we have today. I'm not sure from where this player is, but yeah, he is from Indonesia. Okay, so thanks Banga Asetina for playing for my team and coming first in my team. So we are finishing on 81, Chess Blasters on 78, Gujarat Lions on 78, tying up for Gujarat Lions and Chess Blasters, and then we have Abhi Chess Club on 67. So very good team battle coming to an excellent end, guys. Thanks for all your support. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. There is also the new video today which you have to check, and this is the video. I'll just share the URL in the comment section. Make sure you check the video, and then also you probably share with your friends. So thanks a lot guys for watching this video, and I'm very tired today, but I am happy that I created the video for you all. And thanks, bye bye, good night, take care until we meet again in the next video.